Guys, hello everybody. Welcome to Project Planning and Documentation Week 2. Kind of in recapping Week 1, there had been some questions, problems, you guys trying to find specific information for your written assignment. Hopefully you guys are watching this before Sunday. I think some of you are trying to be really specific. I'm not looking for a specific project. I think some of you are picking like specific movies, video games. You're honing it down to something very specific. What I would recommend doing is finding something on a broader. If you're looking for movies, look for something that's broad about project management for movies, project management for video gaming. And then if you want to narrow down your specific information on your game, movie, music, video, etc., then you can kind of add that into your paper. So you would have multiple sources of information, which is not really uncommon, as you start beginning to do research. So I just wanted to kind of make a note there. And that again is due Sunday midnight. Your discussion, I think on statistics, everybody's doing really well with that. Haven't had anybody do an iJot back to me yet. But I want to make sure that you are aware. Wednesday night, I think I had everybody do their initial post, which is awesome. I love it. Your feedback post, please make sure you're using classmates' names. Lenient the first week on a lot of this, but I start deducting points after that. And again, making sure that you have your your feedback post in by Saturday before the close, because you will not have access to those discussion posts. We move on to the following week and we start a whole new discussion, which I think I just put up. So we are moving right along as we begin kind of moving into week 2. Just kind of recapping on the late work. I try to grade everything by the following Friday midnight. But there's not very many students in this course, so I'll try to get to everything ASAP, especially those course projects. So we move into the process of project management, which I think some of you caught some of that information in the discussion post, which I was excited to see that, how important kind of the planning process really kind of takes a kind of a front seat to, statistics, because I can kind of make statistics numbers. I can make them say whatever I want. That's why you have to be really careful, when looking at numbers, specifically who's paying for those numbers, who did the study. And that's really important and interesting when you really start kind of delving into these, 67% of the people, the 70% of the people polled. Well, who was polled? How many people were polled? So you always have to be careful of those kind of numbers when they're being thrown at you. So I love the catch there. But this week, we're going to start really kind of delving into the 4 stages of planning. You have 2 written assignments. You have a written assignment and part of your course project that we start this week, and of course, your discussion post. So, week 2 objectives. We want to discuss those 4 stages of the planning process for project selection. And of course, we're going to define the 5 process groups. We're going to define 9 knowledge areas, and then we're going to explain the relationship between the groups and the knowledge areas. So we're going to start kind of doing that through looking at just the fundamentals. This is your written assignment. So you're going to look at those 6 fundamental questions, and then after you've reviewed those fundamental questions, you're going to imagine that your methodology kind of only outlines these 6 questions, okay? And you're the project manager, all right, and you need to answer basically those questions. So how do those questions kind of impact your project management approach, or do they? So it's kind of like, will you be successful or not be successful? And then, of course, we need you to delve a little bit further into those 6 questions. And could maybe there be additional questions that we might want to consider to adding to those fundamental steps? So just kind of make sure that critical component there where you're thinking a little bit further into those questions, and do they really hit everything that you would need as far as project planning. So that's basically your assignment here, your written assignment, and the final document should be about 1 to 2 pages, and of course APA format. So here I kind of break down, just to give you an idea, your 6 fundamental questions is worth 10 points. Why is that methodology important? That it only addresses those 6 questions, and should we add additional questions? If so, what would those questions be? Adding to that fundamental process. And then, of course, your APA formatting, correct spelling, punctuation, grammar, mechanics, etc. I would expect, easily, to follow those suit. If you're looking at this going, how am I going to get 1 to 2 pages out of this? Very easily follow that standard method of writing a paper. Your introduction, followed by, each one of these sections easily could be another paragraph, part of the body of your paper, and then a final conclusion of your entire paper. I would say you would easily be at 2 pages, no problem. There we go. So your discussion post for this week is on the planning process. This is where we're going to take those 4 stages of that planning process. And I've added them here, kind of the keynotes from your lecture, just so you have them. But I also put them in the discussion post again, so you have them kind of to refer to if you didn't write them down from the lecture in the assignment for the week. So it kind of gives you that strategic planning process. This is really determining the organizational strategies, goals, and objectives. Very important in the planning process to make sure whatever it is that your goal is, that you're planning to get there, you need to make sure that it aligns with the overall strategy, the goal, or the objectives of the organization. So does it meet that critical mission statement? So you want to make sure when you're looking at that strategic planning. From there, you're going to do a business area analysis, and that really is just analyzing any business process that are instrumental in achieving the goal. So, what processes do we need? Do we need additional factory space, production, people, etc.? We got to analyze, and we have to look at, here's our objective. This is what our plan is. This is what we need to do. Now, what do we need to do to get there? And then we need to do part of the project planning, which are the key players that will decide the scope. How big is this? Is this just a departmental development? Is this a company-wide approach? Is it just maybe one branch? So we need to look at the scope of the project, the goals, the cost, always important. How much is this going to cost us in order to achieve this overall project plan? And what is the final benefit? What is that outcome? Is the outcome even worth achieving at this point? If it's going to cost too much to achieve something that is just irrelevant in the long run. And then, of course, the last part is that resource allocation. Just basically the last step and assessment of the different resources that you might need. Do you have the right people? Do you have enough of the resources, the time, production space, or space in general? As some examples. So kind of an easy kind of cheat sheet that I kind of gave you there. So this course project, you're going to look at, this is your start of your course project. So this is topic selection and addressing those fundamental questions. So basically for your project, you'll need to decide kind of the area that you want to look at, and it kind of give you some here. Your favorite musical artist or band is putting on a U.S. tour to support their new album. And you are their project manager. There is also, you are employed as a wedding coordinator or maybe some sort of event planner that you'll be planning a client's wedding or event. You're writing a manual for a new college student and how successful it is to write a research paper. Or your company just adopted a new software package and your job is to roll it out to everyone in the company. So you can pick from one of these 4, or if you've got something else that you would like to do as part of a project implementation, email me so that way I can review it and then we can move from there. But once you've kind of addressed what it is that you're going to be writing about, you then want to answer the following questions in a one-page document. What business situation is being addressed? What do you need to do? What will you do? How will you do it? How will you know you did it? And then how well did you do? So you might want to look at that planning process, that strategic planning process. You may want to make sure that you hit all of those fundamental questions in your paper, and that again should easily be 1 page. And the criteria again, that you've selected a particular question, either one from the list or something that I've approved, and And then, of course, you have created that document that addresses all of those questions. So make sure you watch these announcements each week as I do kind of go over your assignments, your course projects, the discussion posts, etc., what you need to do, what's expected of you for the week, as well as potential extra credit, which I will only do in the announcements. So it's important that you do watch these. I try not to make them too long so it doesn't take up too much time, as you guys don't really have any live lectures or anything in this course. So if you have questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to email me. It's the easiest way. Don't forget about the course wall. You can easily put questions up on the course wall. All of my classes are linked together on that course wall, so it's not just your class, it's all of my classes, and I have 5 of them. So if it's a very specific question, I would use the Common Course question section on the Angel platform, or you can just email me directly. And if you do have further questions and you want to speak with me, we can either meet in the Adobe room or by phone, and we'll set that up by appointment and email. So hope everybody has a great week, and I will see you guys all in week 3. Bye now.